West Coast. West Coastin', yes. West Coast. Shout out to Dr. Dre, Snoop, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, MC Ren, Yella. Shout out to all of the West Coast. I always knew that the West Coast was different. I knew that they had a growing homeless population as I continued to navigate through college and then adulthood and stuff like that. But when I went over to the West Coast for the first time in my entire life as an adult, I was absolutely floored. I had went once as a child. My father had took us down there or whatever, and we was having fun. But when I went as an adult, I was absolutely floored. I was amazed. I couldn't believe what it looked like. And every single time that I went there, shout out to Time Out, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Every single time I went to the West Coast, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Shout out to Mac 10. Nothing but a cabbie hit. Westcott, Dog Pound. What do you consider fun? That's the bomb. That's the bomb. All day, night, and all night long. That's the bomb. That's the bomb. Yeah. Shout out to Dub C. West Side Connection. Yay. I just couldn't believe. I look great this D. You trying to get on my good side today. You trying to get on my good side today, D. Ooh, you know I love it when women give me a compliment. I love it when the ladies say, Anton, you looking good today. I say, do I? I've been in the gym. You like that? I like that gym. But the homeless encampments is getting a little bit out of control. Everybody living van life over on the West Coast. Nobody can afford anything. The Chinese is buying up all of the properties, and everything is messed up out here in these streets. Let's go ahead and show you what's happening out here on the West Coast. Yay.
Look at this. An apparently homeless man climbing across telephone wires in the middle of the night, yelling that he's high on methamphetamine.
Now, let's... we going to start this off right. Detroit looking great. Devastator. Listen, I know you want to hate, but you should really look at my videos every day. I was out there walking the streets of Detroit at 3 o'clock in the morning after I left my office the other day, and I felt just fine. Just fine. Walked home. I walked home from here the other night. Yay. You got a man. I guarantee you this. Regardless of what needs to be done over here, you're not going to see a man that's climbing and riding around on his telephone poles talking about I'm high off methamphetamines. Man, it's a walking insane asylum on the West Coast. Do you see this? This man is on the telephone pole. Bro, you know how many volts of electricity is flying through those? That man is on. Yep, you're right, Chris Thomas. Detroit was voted to have the #1 art museum, the DIA, which I've been telling y'all about. We was voted to have the #1 Riverwalk and the #1 art museum in the entire country. That's a fact. We was voted to have the #1 Riverwalk. Listen, look it up. We was voted to have the #1 Riverwalk and the #1 art museum in the nation. In the DIA and the Riverwalk. That's a fact. A lot of people don't know that, though. A lot of people have no clue. But because they just go on based off of what they think that they know, it's not true. But let's continue to talk about the West Coast. What do you consider fun? That's the bomb. That's the bomb. All day, night, and all day long. That's the bomb. That's the bomb.
There are now tens of thousands of homeless people living on the streets of L.A., suffering from severe addiction and mental illness.
And the city is now spending a record amount of money to bring the homeless inside.
We booming over here.
But that money isn't helping the most vulnerable on the streets.
The I-Team's Joel Grover has been looking into this issue for years, and he joins us now with his latest investigation. Joel.
Well, the city of L.A. will spend $250 million this year on the Inside Safe program, the centerpiece of the mayor's effort to bring the homeless inside off the streets for good. But often left out of that solution are the toughest cases, the unhoused who require highly specialized treatment and housing.
Look at that nonsense.
In the middle of the night, a homeless man crawls across telephone wires in a Venice neighborhood.
Oh my God, what is he doing?
Refusing to come down, even though cops and firefighters try for hours. Earlier that same night, neighbors say the man was seen riding on top of a city bus.
I don't think anything shocks us at this point anymore.
Residents like Amy Castillo say
he was swinging from here to there, here to there.
Incidents like this are now a frequent occurrence in their neighborhood, despite the city spending hundreds of millions of dollars to ease homelessness.
I think they're tackling homelessness as a big picture, but not looking at those who are truly mentally ill or unstable.
The I-Team has found there is very little help right now for the unhoused who are suffering from severe addiction and mental illness, like 30-year-old Caleb DeWitt, who I first found back in 2019 when I was driving around Hollywood with Carrie Morrison.
He does not look good.
Founder of Heart Forward, a group trying to improve care for people like Caleb. Caleb, I learned, was from a small town in Ohio, once the star of his high school play. But he ended up addicted.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Was that Caleb? Was that Fat Caleb? Oh, snap. Now, don't y'all go over to California and start doing that Fenty. Trying to get skinny. Don't y'all go over to California and start doing that Fenty. Trying to get skinny. What happened to my video? My video ain't right? All right, we're going to get that right. For some reason, my video ain't right. But don't y'all go to California trying to get that Fenty. It ain't for you. All right? It ain't for you.
Ohio, once the star of his high school play. But he ended up addicted to meth and living on a Hollywood sidewalk for years. He was also diagnosed as being bipolar.
I-Team's Joel Grover found thousands of people who are battling things like mental illness or...
After NBC4 did a story on him in 2019, caseworkers found him a temporary spot in a rehab and he started to improve. But he eventually wandered off, and since then I've seen him back on the streets year after year, sometimes smoking meth.
I'm addicted. I have an addiction.
And just this fall, Carrie Morrison and I found him again.
Do you know what month it is?
Curled up on Hollywood's Walk of Fame.
It's a little bit like deja vu. I mean, we as a community have really failed him, let him down.
LA now has a major effort to get the homeless off the streets and into permanent housing. It's the mayor's $250 million a year program called Inside Safe. Is Inside Safe the right program to get someone like Caleb off the streets?
I don't think Caleb would do very well in Inside Safe. He has unfortunately decompensated to the place where he probably needs to be in a more clinical setting to get stabilized.
I think it is a crime to allow him to be on the streets like that and die.
LA Mayor Karen Bass. Is there enough housing and services for people like Caleb?
Absolutely not. That's why Caleb is on the street.
Dozens of facilities in LA that once housed the mentally ill have closed in recent years, like this one in San Pedro, which was turned into a condo project. So the mayor is urging people to vote next month for California's Proposition 1, which would authorize over $6 billion to build treatment facilities for the homeless with mental health and substance problems. But money isn't the only obstacle.
So hold on. They was giving him treatment. He was getting better. And then he decided that he wanted to walk away and hit the streets. So how is it they literally spend billions of dollars every single year in order to support this? They listen, you can offer as much housing if you want. I'm going to just be honest with you. You know what it's going to do? It's going to wind up going right back to the thing. Look. It's the drugs. We got to get to the core and the root of the problem. And I'm going to talk about the core and the root of the problem. I appreciate everybody that's supporting the platform. Let me play the rest of this.
There's a lot of people intervening in the lives of somebody like Caleb, but no clear responsibility for actually putting together what he needs.
Professor Alex Barnard wrote this book detailing California's failure to care for the mentally ill and addicted. He says there are numerous agencies and nonprofits trying to help these people, but not one that's really responsible for them.
It's too easy for, again, every provider in the system to say, this is really someone else's problem.
Well, how did it become our responsibility for them doing what it is that they're doing? Just curious. At what point does it become personal responsibility? Because I mean, you can give everybody everything that they want, and ultimately it's just gonna end up right back the way that it is. Trust me, I know. Some people love the streets. As bad as it is, some people love the streets.
That incident with the homeless man on the telephone wires. When police couldn't get him to come down, they took their yellow tape down and left him in a vacant building.
This case,
oh, when they couldn't get, they couldn't get, they couldn't get him to come down. I was like, hey man, roll that tape up, bro. We out of here. Hey, bro. He don't want to come down. He want to surf. He want to swag surf on buses, and he want to be Spider-Man. We going to take our tape down, and we going to go ahead and get on up out of here, bro. They left him in an abandoned building. They said, man, listen, you do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. Because if we come and get you down and then you try to sue the department anyway, it's going to all be bad anyway. So I'll tell you what. You do what you want to do. We going to take this tape down. You have a good time, buddy.
guy was clearly not well.
Residents like Amy Castillo were afraid for their own safety and for the safety of the homeless man.
We don't know what to do
as
a community to help somebody in that situation.
But there are tiny glimmers of hope for some of the toughest cases on the streets, like Caleb DeWitt.
There is nobody that really feels accountable for Caleb.
After we found him on the sidewalk last fall, Carrie Morrison made some calls, and Caleb got into a new LA County pilot program at the old Mark Twain Hotel in Hollywood. There are beds for just 58 people out of the thousands of mentally ill and addicted on the streets.
I have a clean place to stay.
Caleb can stay at the Mark Twain for up to 2 years and supposedly gets mental health and addiction treatment. But this once smiling kid from the high school play told me he's still doing meth. Are you still using?
Yes.
So if there's no requirement and you could just stay for free, listen, bro, you can stay for free. You're going to go out, you're going to hunt, you're going to find money in order to do meth. And you could do what you want to do when you want to do it. There's no actual solution. See, I see a lot of people, and I agree sometimes with Eric Daniels, and a lot of times they don't. And they say, hey, man, we need to make sure that we get these people off the streets. Well, if you don't actually solve for the problem, all you're doing is continuing to enable the problem. You're not doing anything except for enabling bad behavior. I'm just going to be 100% with you. All you're doing is enabling bad behavior. You're not solving for the problem. If he's still out there doing meth, but you can just live for free, then that means that he just got more money to do meth. And I'm just going to be honest. You're not talking to a person that's not familiar with homelessness. I've done the work as far as helping homeless people. All he got is more money to continue to do meth.
He's still hearing voices in his head.
I've heard of like magic and stuff in my head about other worlds.
Caleb says when his 2 years at the Mark Twain are up, he has no idea where he'll go.
Do you think you'll ever be able to live off the streets for good?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
In the LA area, there are 4,000 units of housing now being built for the homeless. But I asked the mayor's office to name which, if any, projects will be specifically equipped to treat the severely addicted and mentally ill. They said there will be some, but they couldn't name them.
4,000 more units. That's going to be. And let me tell y'all something. This is not just 4,000 units and they saying, oh man, it's going to be built for the homeless. There's no way to sustain this. And you know what y'all doing? You guys are actually also going to be the ones that's paying for it. Y'all paying for it. When y'all look at the budget over in California, if I pull up the budget right now, because I pulled it up before, if we pull up the budget over in California, you know what it's going to say? All of this money going over to social services, same thing, different day. Same thing, different day. Y'all paying for this. And not only are you paying for that, you paying for the salaries of all of the people that's in the nonprofits, in which 85% of it go to administrative services. You're paying for it. Everybody that lives in California, everybody that lives over there on the West Coast, if you're in Hollywood, LA, look, I'll show it to you.
5:30, a troublesome homeless encampment in Hollywood is starting to grow again after the city recently cleared it out. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Ullman. Neighbors say they have witnessed people buying and selling drugs. There have been break-ins and at least one man was attacked.
Tonight, those neighbors are sharing their frustrations. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff joins us live in Hollywood with more. Rachel.
Cher, Micah, residents say it took the city 3 months to clean up this particular homeless encampment on Hollywood Boulevard near Taft. The problem is it seems to be slowly returning, and when it does, it brings with it all kinds of illicit activity. A persistent problem plaguing neighborhoods around Hollywood and beyond.
Starts with one tent and then they basically, become a whole line of, maybe 5 or 6 tents combined.
Pre-cleanup, it was pretty dystopian, that's all I can say. It was like a Mad Max movie.
This one was the worst.
Homeless encampments like this one on Hollywood and Taft growing in size. Longtime resident Brian Winchell says while he sympathizes with those down on their luck, he says people in these encampments steal power from local buildings, leave behind mounds of trash, cause disruptions at all hours of the night, and most concerning of all, bring violence and drug buyers and sellers to the neighborhood.
Look at that. Look at this, y'all. This is normal out there. You know what they got? Good weather and doo-doo on their streets. Listen, you're not just dealing with people that's saying we ain't got no place to stay. You dealing with people that say we gonna use drugs, we gonna tear up the community, we gonna steal power, we gonna throw our trash on the street. This is America. This is one of the most successful places on earth, in some of the most prosperous cities and states in the world. And it looks like this. This is normal. I don't know if y'all have ever been to LA and Hollywood. Listen, I went to Hollywood. I was out on Hollywood. The first time that I ever went to Hollywood in particular was when I went to the Dr. Phil show. And they had me stay very, very close so that they can get me a car. And then they drove me over to whatever. And they put me in a nice hotel. And then I went out the back of the hotel in order to go down to Hollywood Boulevard during the Stars Walk. It was the worst thing. It smelled like death. It smelled like pee and death. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that this was a tourist destination. And I already told y'all that they had different types of Michael Jacksons out there. I ain't going to tell y'all about Michael Jackson again. But it smelled like piss and death. And I was like, what is that? What is it? The police officers made sure they stayed in packs. Like they made sure they stayed together because they knew that individually they would get mobbed and they would get their head cracked in. It smelled like piss and death. Now, maybe it don't smell like death anymore, but it definitely is probably smelling like piss. Sean Lewis tell you I'm out here in LA and I see it firsthand. I walk down, me and Rita, we walk all through Skid Row. I fed people. I talked to people. I got some insight. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's very, 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 very bad. It is horrible. Horrible. Whole lot of Michael Jacksons, but it was the old Michael Jacksons. It wasn't like the newer Michael Jacksons. It was the older Michael Jacksons.
Neighborhood. He's disappointed in city leadership, too.
We pay their paycheck. That's my big beef. We pay their paycheck, and they have failed miserably to provide a safe place to have my house and to have my dwelling place. I've worked hard for it, and so have my neighbors. And we all don't feel safe walking to the 7-Eleven. We are scared that we're going to step on a used syringe, or there's human doo-doo everywhere.
Another neighbor, Osco Acopian.
And there's human doo-doo everywhere. Don't y'all know that in San Francisco and LA, when you walk, you have to look down when you walk. You know why? Because it's doo-doo it's human feces all over the ground. When I did my meetup on the West Coast in LA, I didn't even stay in LA. I stayed in Glendale. I didn't even stay in LA. I stayed in Glendale. I said, I can't do it. I can't do it, Rita. I can't do it. Us Detroiters are used to better than this. I know we had a lot of abandoned buildings, but we ain't had no poop on the streets. I tell you that. Listen, we went through what we went through over in Detroit. We didn't have no poop on the streets, though. We didn't have I said, Rita, I can do a lot of things. The one thing, listen, it's two things that I can't do. Roaches. If I see a roach, I'm gone. I know a lot of y'all down there in the South, y'all call them water bugs. No, they roaches and they fly. A lot of y'all down in LA, y'all keep calling them, those are just water bugs. I said, no, from where I'm from, that's called a roach. That's called a riggedy roach. Oh, that's normal. Those is around all year long. I said, oh, no, I'm going to just come and visit. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying here with all of these flying things that's all over the place. That's just a water bug. No, that's not a water bug. I don't know where you got that from, but it's not a water bug. Yeah, they be flying, and they big. They big. Texas, Florida. So what? No. It's two things I can't do. I can't do bugs. Keep your bugs. And I can't do doo-doo on the ground. Two things I can't do. No. You keep your flying bugs and you keep your doo-doo to yourself. You know monkeys throw doo-doo at you when they mad at you, right? Y'all, I'm telling you the truth. When monkeys get mad, they throw doo-doo at you. Yeah. I said, y'all just prehistoric over here on the West Coast. Y'all just prehistoric on the West Coast. Y'all acting just like animals. Don't you know that animals throw doo-doo at you when they pissed at you? Have y'all ever seen any of those? Go ahead and mess up your YouTube algorithm and look up monkey throw doo-doo. It's a regular thing. This is why they won't put me on national TV. They know I got the best show on earth, but they won't put me on national TV because they saying, Anton, we don't want you talking about doo-doo on national TV. That's not going to be good for. I said, what the? If y'all don't want to give the people the truth, then what am I supposed to do?
Took this video as LA City crews attempt to clear the tents and trash this week. Caution tape now surrounds the sidewalks, but the trend seems to be within a day or so, the encampment returns and continues to torment those who live here.
So we called the 311 and we called the, all the politicians that are, in this district, and it's really very slow to respond with any kind of action.
Martha Burr has lived here for 30 years. She says there's a criminal component to this. Her elderly neighbor was actually mugged and attacked by a member of the encampment. So she hopes police take more of an active role.
I mean, if we see them, smoking crack and selling drugs, continue.
Where are we living? If we see them smoking crack, Man, don't you know that crack used to be an urban problem? Y'all used to do coke. Y'all wasn't doing crack. Crack was in the hood. It was in the Bronx. It was in Detroit. It was in Chicago. That was in the urban communities. Yeah, y'all remember that scene on Minister Society? He's like, I got these cheeseburgers, man. I got these cheeseburgers. And MCA was like, man, leave him alone, dog. Yo, dog, come on, man. And then the old dog was like, man, what you say to me? I ain't gonna say the other part that he said. Man, what you say to me? You do what? Man, I'm telling you, I got these cheeseburgers, man. Man, listen, crack wasn't a thing. What you mean? White people in the open in California just out there blazing a crack pipe? This is crazy. This is insane. And he didn't just have cheeseburgers, he got double cheeseburgers.
Continuously. I just wonder why the police couldn't do a little bit more to keep an eye on them.
Because y'all told them to stop. Y'all said no more police, defund the police, don't touch nobody, you're going to get sued, all of that. Y'all told the police to be quiet, and so the police is pulling back.
And we spoke to Councilmember Soto Martinez's office today. It says it will continue to provide regular cleanings to this site. It also says it referred every single person to housing and they're ready to go as soon as beds open up. The problem is that we don't exactly know when this will be. There are 3,000 homeless individuals in this district and only 400 beds to accommodate them.
It's getting worse. It's going to get worse before it get better.